In many ways, Star Wars Battlefront is a fantastic Star Wars game. From its visuals to its sound design, Star Wars Battlefront truly is an immersive experience that makes you feel like you're battling the Imperial Army on Endor or trying to take down an AT-AT on Hoth. It's the experience that many of us dreamed of as kids, to feel like we're actually in the universe of the series that defined our imagination. While Star Wars Battlefront nails this, it doesn't necessarily stick the landing that makes me want to keep on playing. The game is split into two sections, multiplayer and survivor. Sadly, there's no campaign mode this time around, but the zombies-like survivor mode is meant to replace that. Survivor starts off with the cutscene of a rebel ship crash landing on a planet, either Tatooine, Hoth, Endor, or Solus. Suddenly a wave of stormtroopers comes after you, and it's your objective to survive 15 rounds of this. You'll start off with the standard blaster and 3 abilities, but you'll be able to grab bonuses on the map or earn them by getting things like headshots and kill streaks. It's a pretty fun game mode that gets more and more challenging as the waves come on, adding different variations of stormtroopers and vehicles. The hologram transmissions between the waves are a really nice touch that only furthers the feeling of being in the Star Wars universe. Overall, it's a pretty fun game mode, but it'll probably only cater to fans of the survival game mode type already, because this game doesn't really do too much to differentiate it from other survival type modes. If you aren't a fan of survivor modes and other games, this probably won't change your opinion, but if you do love these game modes, then the Star Wars theme is awesome. Plus, if you have a local friend nearby, you can play split screen co-op. The multiplayer mode is the main attraction of Star Wars Battlefront. Currently there's a total of 9 game modes. Walker Assault is probably one of the best game modes in this game. It's a game where the rebels are trying to destroy a group of AT-ATs, while the Imperial Army is trying to destroy the rebel relays to stop any oncoming Y-Wings trying to take down the AT-ATs. This game mode in particular feels just like Star Wars. There's multiple objectives that lead on to the next step in the mission, like having to keep the relays across the map up in order to call in more Y-Wings, that will then in return take down the AT-AT shields, leaving it vulnerable to the on-ground attacks from the rebels. Seeing the large AT-ATs walking across the battlefront as Y-Wings and TIE fighters soar across the sky, it truly feels magical. This is the definitive Battlefront experience. That's not even mentioning when there's a Darth Vader or a Luke Skywalker character on the field. You can earn the ability to play as these hero characters by finding little perks across the field, including weapon upgrades like turrets and rocket launchers. Nothing feels better than playing as Luke and reflecting back a ton of lasers at stormtroopers, or playing as Darth Vader and force choking someone while throwing your lightsaber at another group. You truly feel like a powerful warrior that's strong with the Force. In terms of the other multiplayer game modes, Drop Zone has you play as either a rebel or Imperial soldier who's after collecting the most escape pods on the battlefront. Fighter Squadron is airship focused as the rebels and Imperials fight in their TIE fighters and Y-Wings trying to destroy each other. You'll be able to lock on the enemies and invade oncoming lasers with the push of a D-pad to activate a spin. Supremacy is another great game mode that takes great advantage of the Star Wars universe. 40 players are split into 2 teams and are dropped into a large map where they can fight to capture 5 specific areas in order to gain points. The game mode supports both land and air combat, making it one of the craziest Battlefront scenes in the game. This and Walker Assault are the 2 most unique and fun game modes in Battlefront. Cargo plays out like Capture the Flag, where one team tries to capture another team's cargo while protecting their own. Droid Run is a 12-player game mode where each team tries to take control of 3 G and K droids. Blast Mode is essentially team deathmatch for Battlefront. 20 players are split into 2 teams and shoot it out for the most amount of points. Heroes vs Villains is an interesting game mode. There are 2 teams, one made of 3 villains and their Imperial soldiers, and another made of 3 heroes and their Rebel soldiers. Whoever loses their 3 main characters first loses. It's a fun game mode for a while just to be able to mess around with the hero characters online pretty easily. I just wish there was more hero options on both teams. Hero Hunt is the last game mode, and it's set up very much like a Juggernaut game mode, where one player is playing as the hero and the rest are soldiers trying to take out the hero so that they may respond back as the hero character. As the hero, you must kill the preset amount of soldiers in order to win the match. Overall, the multiplayer is a lot of fun. The 2 standout game modes are Walker Assault and Supremacy, in terms of them feeling like unique and actual Star Wars immersive experiences. The rest of the game modes are basically Star Wars versions of other popular FPS game modes like Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag. These aren't necessarily bad, but not really anything that stands out. The visuals in Battlefront are gorgeous. The beautiful landscape maps look amazing and truly shine in game modes like Walker Assault, where literally something is always happening in every corner of the map, may it be on the ground or in the sky. Seeing all the lasers in the sky as well as all the particle effects that happen when the laser hits an obstacle is spectacular. The sound design is even better. I highly recommend you play this game with a pair of headphones because boy does the sound mixing do wonders. Hearing all the airships fly by while I fire my weapon on an upcoming AT-AT, it's just so good. If I had to name the things that truly made this game immersive, it would be its visuals and sound design. Having the keys to the LucasArts vault of Star Wars history definitely paid off. Now here's my dilemma with Star Wars Battlefront. The game is beautiful and it's so much fun, but only for a few days. After playing this game this week, I didn't feel that hook factor that made me want to keep playing the game, and that's a big problem when you don't have a campaign and your biggest selling point is the multiplayer mode. In a way, it's like being super hyped for a movie and then watching all the trailers before it comes out that shows pretty much the best parts of the movie. When you watch it, sure, it's still pretty good, but there's just something off with it. Very much in the same way, Battlefront is a lot of fun, but I don't see myself playing this game for months over the next year. There's a DLC season pass that's announced that retails for $50. This will be adding 16 new multiplayer maps, 4 new game modes, 20 pieces of tech ranging from weapons, cards, and vehicles, and finally 4 additional heroes and villains that are yet to be announced. My problem with this is that the game feels like it needed this from the get-go, or at least needed to be free. It would have been a nice incentive to keep the player playing like Splatoon did. It originally launched incomplete, but it promised new DLC at no charge over the course of the next year. Having to pay $50 for the rest of the game that feels more like part 2 of the game than really bonus content feels wrong. It's a shame too, because this game is a lot of fun. The fact that it nails the Star Wars feeling so well makes me wish there was more to do in this universe. Star Wars Battlefront is a game I'd recommend getting on sale, or perhaps trying to get it through the EA Access program if you're on Xbox One. Get a good 10 hours into the game, and if you're bored by the end of it, save yourself the $60. Or if you enjoyed it, pick up the retail game and have a blast. And that is my review of Star Wars Battlefront for the Xbox One, PS4, and the PC. If you have any questions and you want them answered, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys found the review informative and enjoyable, please drop it a like and share it with your friends. It really helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. If you want to keep up to date with me off of YouTube and see what I'm up to behind the scenes or when I'm working on something, be sure to follow me on Twitter or join the Facebook group in the description below. Thank you all very much for watching, and hey, we're only roughly about a month away from The Force Awakens.